Hey, what's up YouTube? Lightsaber Samurai here, and I'm back again for the first video of 2018, and I wanted to start it off with a bit of a bang, so here it is. Let's do it. Xbox 360 Hidden Gems, the trilogy. Stay tuned. Alright, and first up we've got Tango, Legend of the Nine. And Legend of the Nine, from what I understood, is a spiritual sequel to the Bushido Blade series, which was awesome. The Bushido Blade series is one of my favorite on the PlayStation, one of my favorite hidden gem fighting games. And in this you play as 9 historical figures from Japanese history, all sword masters. But as I started the game, I noticed here that it seemed to play more of like an action-adventure game, maybe something more in the vein of like Way of the Samurai. And now it has a two-player mode, also more on that in a bit, but the single-player campaign has you playing through a story as one of the legendary sword masters. It has that cool parry mechanic in it, makes battles a little more tactical, and you can pull off, one-hit kills and big damage. Moving over to the actual two-player portion of it, the fighting game, you pick one of the heroes, pick an arena to battle in, and in this it's more of Bushido Blade, well, kind of. Playing the game, I noticed that it's a little bit more fast-paced. You still have that cool parry move from the single-player campaign, but it doesn't seem to have the one-hit kills as the Bushido Blade series is known for. All in all, though, it's still pretty fun and mildly entertaining, and definitely on the cheap right now. I scooped this up for less than $5, so if you see it, definitely pick it up. Next here, we're going into Singularity by Activision. This is a first-person shooter that came out in 2010. And I remember hearing a little bit about this when it came out, but then it quickly faded into obscurity. I forgot all about it. I think it just came out in a year facing stiff competition. And in this, the story takes place in modern times, and you play as a soldier who is sent to this Russian island called Katorga 12. And apparently in the 60s, they found some new raw element to use in their nuclear ambitions. There was some kind of incident that got everybody killed on the island, and it was basically sealed up for the last 60 years. So you infiltrate after seeing a radiation spike and believing the place to be deserted, but you quickly find that that is all but true. You find these disgusting monsters that appears to be the former denizens of the island who've been mutated by radiation in that experiment that had gone awry. But the gameplay is pretty awesome. The gunplay is awesome. You get a time manipulation device, as you'll do a little bit of time traveling later on in the game. Fortunately I haven't gotten that far yet, but looking forward to playing more. Alright, next we've got Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, and this is probably the most known of the hidden gems in this list today. And wow, like I'd heard everybody talk about how great this game was and how beautiful it is and this and that, but man, they weren't kidding. So this is actually it's actually a derivative of the classic story Journey to the West by I believe the author's name is Wang Cheng. I probably butchered his name, but classic Chinese literature. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic setting, though, and you play as Trip and Monkey, and you're helping as Monkey. Basically, she puts a slave collar on your head and charges you with getting her across country to her village. And so the gameplay in this, it's actually very cool. It's a blend of Prince of Persia style platforming and kind of like hack and slash action and exploration. A lot of comparisons to The Last of Us in this game. And now that I play it, I see what they're talking about. It takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, but the environments themselves are more green, more lush. Kind of what would naturally happen, you know, nature, you know, kind of takes back over. Taking a look at some of the gameplay here. Now this is taking place in the aftermath of a huge war, and you fight the mechs here, which is like a bunch of robots who I guess participated during that great war that destroyed mankind, but they're still carrying out their objectives of killing intruders, which just happens to be any humans they come across at this point.
Do you think you could tell me what the plan is?
Well, like I said, huge open world environments, just lush graphics. I can't stress enough how beautiful the game is. And it's got a couple of different play styles. Like I said, you saw the fast-paced combat. It also has great platforming in it. There's elements of stealth in it as well. And let's see here in this scene. Also has a bit of a cover mechanic. And so enemies like this, you'll be outgunned, and so you'll have to kind of move from cover to cover to outflank enemies and to, you know, just to close the distance. He does have a projectile weapon in his bow staff, and I don't have any gameplay footage of it here, but that's all right. Like I said, for me, it's about getting up close. So, like I said, if you see this game, definitely pick it up. Okay, this one here, Wanchanbara Bikini Samurai Squad, and this is an odd title right here. This was developed by, I believe, Pt.3 publisher, and this game you play as two sisters who have some kind of special blood that runs through their veins, gives them special powers. This takes place during a zombie outbreak of some kind, so once you see it on the news, of course that means you put on your bikini and your cowboy hat and you go to work. Sorry, I'm just laughing here as we watch the opening cinematics to this game. It's actually a pretty decent hack and slash game, all things considered, and big ups to D3 for this cool loading screen, and that's actually me smacking up the zombies there on the loading screen. But going into the actual gameplay itself, like I said, it's, for all intents and purposes, a hack and slash action game. And you know, those are some of my favorite, and I like looking at the more obscure ones here. And so, like I said, it takes place in a post-apocalyptic scenario. There's a zombie outbreak. I like that you can switch between both sisters on the fly, although I like playing more as Saki here, the younger sister. She seems to just be a little bit more, she seems to be faster and just more fluid as far as stringing the combos together. The gameplay itself, like I said, pretty straightforward. The graphics in this game are okay, but like I said, not the best, definitely serviceable, although I did notice a tremendous amount of screen tearing in this game. You see here, one of the cool mechanics, your sword accumulates blood the more you kill enemies, and so you, like that there, have to actively wipe your sword off with blood, or wipe the blood off your sword to keep it clean and to keep the power up. It decreases in power over time and can get stuck with enemies. Over time here, you'll get access to new fighting styles. Here you see I'm actually dual wielding blades there. Like I said, I haven't played a lot of this game, but the story is kind of wacky. Kind of reminds me actually of something that you would see from Platinum Games. So like I said, and you can see it here. Like I said, that screen tearing is really bad, but it hasn't distracted me too much yet. So like I said, if you can find it for cheap, it's definitely worth adding to the collection. And so that's all I got to say about that. It's Wanchanbara. Okay, and last up here, I wanted to talk about Operation Darkness. Now, this is an Xbox 360 exclusive that came out in 2008, and this is an Atlas game, or at least Atlas published it. And so on the surface, it seems to be a, you know, historically accurate tactical RPG set in World War II. He's showing you, you know, classic footage here, but traditional is anything but. This game is I mean, there's really no other way to put it. This game is batshit insane. It's a very fun strategy game, but they take a lot of liberties. As you see here, I'm fighting skeletons. They throw zombies into the mix. You got motherfuckers turning into werewolves. There's vampires in it. Like, this game is crazy, and unfortunately, it's a game that just got panned by the critics, and I don't know why. Like, this game. And I don't even like strategy RPGs for the most part. I mean, I loved Final Fantasy Tactics back in the day. I loved Advance Wars on the Game Boy Advance. This is kind of what this reminds me of, kind of somewhere between a cross between Advance Wars and Valkyria Chronicles. And like I say, you see the vampires there. I mean, this game is just crazy. I mean, you've got the traditional elements of, you know, and traditional weaponry as far as like guns and, you know, rifles, machine guns. You got guys that can use magic though, and they take a lot of liberties as far as, you know, the fantasy elements of it, and I think that makes this RPG really unique. Like I said, I found this game for about $3 at GameStop, so it's definitely worth the price of admission. If you see it, definitely pick it up. Operation Darkness. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode, and if you couldn't tell already, I just love the Xbox 360. Hundreds and hundreds of titles that came out for the system, and so there's enough that we can do many more of these videos in the future. So lay it down in the comments, what are some games that you think are overlooked or hidden gems on the system. I am going to take a bit of a break from Microsoft to focus on some other things in my game room, but like I said, there's always room for us to return to this in the future. As always, I want to thank you for tuning in, thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel, and until next time. Hey guys, I want to thank you for tuning in and watching my latest video. Sorry it took so long to get this out. I was literally dying of the flu last week, and so I missed the deadline for last week. But rest assured, I'll be back next week with a brand new video. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time.